wonder, doubt. The journey doesn't stop, but the progress does. It can be lonely, painful. Sometimes we try to stare it down, as if we could somehow will it to go away. Or we think we can go toe-to-toe and come out the other side, unscathed. We often forget just how small we are. The truth is, storms are inevitable. But when they appear, we have a protector, a savior who knows a thing or two about calming storms, a God who is a stronghold in times of trouble. In our weakness, He is strong. In our fear, He is courage. In our desperation, He is peace. Yes, storms are inevitable, but our God is invincible.
Hey, everyone. I was just waiting for the background noise to get turned down so I can go live. And now that I'm alive, or that I'm live, I'm alive too. I'm breathing too. But I'm live on Facebook and on YouTube. I want to welcome each and every one of you. If this is your first time watching, please say something in the comments, first timer, hashtag first time, so I'll know and I can welcome you, because I do appreciate you taking the time out of all the other things you could have done today to watch me, whether you're watching me live or in the replay. If you're watching in the replay, put hashtag replay so I know that you are watching in the replay. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. If I am doing this through StreamYard, so if you don't have a StreamYard account, it's not going to show me your comments until I go back to look at them. But I promise I will go back and look at them and respond to your comments and or questions. I am excited about today because I get to talk about living a life of purpose. And I get to talk about it from the standpoint that you are graced to be you. Okay. A few years back, well, it's been almost a decade now. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun. But about 10 years or more, it might have been 15 years ago, I got a revelation about God's plan for my life and God's destiny for my life. And it changed how I viewed things. It changed how I felt about me. It changed how I wanted to deal with other people. And I went on this road or this journey of transformation, and it wasn't easy. It was difficult because I had put in my mind that I was a certain type of person, that I had these issues and these problems and these shortcomings that were just a part of me, and there was nothing I could do about it. I would always be that way. I would always act that way. And as I started to discover more of who I was and what God had planned for me, I started to realize that I needed to be strategic in how I made my maneuvers. I needed to be strategic in how I made choices. I needed to be strategic in how I chose to live my life. And I needed to be intentional about doing the right things, about understanding that not everybody is going to pat me on the back. Not everybody is going to like me. Not everybody is going to love me. Not everybody is going to accept me. Those that do love, like, and accept me and trust me are those that I am assigned to. Those that I have something on the inside of me to give to them. Those that are looking for the solutions that I house in this body. And I get to be me. I get to be this person called Linda. And so the best way for me to say is naturally, okay, because I'm talking a little bit spiritual, but let me talk about it naturally. There are certain things that you gravitate to that you can just do well, right? You don't have to think about it. You don't have, it's almost like second skin, second nature. You do it without a thought. And we take comfort in knowing that we can do these things well. And we find that people come to us and they need us to do this thing that we do well. Some of us have 5 things that we do well. Some of us have 10 things that we do well. Some of us have 1 thing that we do well. It doesn't matter what it is, but you have to take the time to discover what it is, because you have been graced to be you. Grace means you've been empowered to live life that only you can live. Your experiences, your attitudes, your personality, the things that you love, the things that you hate, the things that you like just a little bit, those things all have come together to make you you. And the great thing about it, can I go back to the spiritual side? The great thing about it is that this was put on the inside of you even before you were a twinkle in your daddy's eye, even before your mom and dad came together and conceived you, even before you were a thought or a blimp on anybody's radar. This was something that was spoken over you before the world began. So it's not something new. It's not something interesting. It's not something that you made up. And I think a lot of times we think living purposefully is something that we made up. Oh, this is what I want to do, so I'm going to do it on purpose. I'm going to be this person from now on. And we think that it was our idea. And that's the foolish thing that we do, right? We think it was us that came up with the idea. I came up with the idea to be a coach. I didn't come up with the idea to be a coach. I mean, truth be told, I would be somebody's lawyer somewhere, getting criminals. Believe me, they would get off. Anybody that knows me knows that Lynn can give a good argument. And those criminals that I would be defending would be getting off. I wouldn't have a bad record as a lawyer. I'm just saying. So that's where I was headed, because I felt that we needed more lawyers to help the criminals. I thought I was going to be a defense lawyer, and I was going to get the gangsters and bangers and all of that off for the bad stuff that they had did. Right? I was going to find that loophole. Now, what I've learned is that I am what they call a sage. Now, before you start doing the cross and getting the Bible and the holy oil and trying to say that I'm demonic, let me tell you what a sage is. A sage is someone who is a, how can I say it? They are someone who is a truth finder. They will research, they will get in and they will read and they will research and they will find the information. So when they speak, you can trust their word, because not only are they speaking from knowledge, but they're speaking from wisdom. And so I've had a lot of things happen in my life. So when I talk about what I talk about, I'm not coming from a, you know what? This sounds good. Let me say that. I'm coming from, I've lived this thing. I've researched this thing. I've studied this thing. I'm a people watcher. I've watched people. I've read the books of life, the life stories of successful people. I've put two and two together, and I've come up with, this really does work. When you understand your purpose and you understand what you are graced to do, then you can start to walk in it. So people find me, and even as a child, people would come to me and say, Linda, what do you think about this? Linda, I'm going through this. And they would talk to me, and I'm like, I'm a little kid. What are you talking to me about your problems? I never understood why adults came to a 14-year-old for advice on their marriage. I've never been married. I don't know what to tell you. I even remember that I was, in a situation where someone that was near and dear to me came and said, look, this is what's going on. I'm telling you because you have the mindset to wrap your head around this, and I need you to tell me, what should I do? And in that moment, I'm sorry for the noise, y'all. I really am. Because some people just don't understand that even in the background, it gets picked up on the mic. But the person was talking to me, and in that moment, the wisdom that God has given me kicked in, and I said, look, this is what it's going to be, right? And I gave them what the Spirit of God was giving me. Now, at the time, I did not understand or recognize that I was operating in the gift of wisdom. Now, for those of you that know the spiritual gifts, you know that wisdom is one of the spiritual gifts. So I didn't understand that I was operating in the gift of wisdom. I didn't understand, even as a little child, that I operated in the gift of prophecy. I did not understand that I had discernment. My stepfather called it premonition. And so that's what I called it. But it was the gift of discernment, the gift of wisdom, the gift of prophecy that was always active in my life. I didn't have to learn how to prophesy. I didn't have to learn how to do the gift of wisdom. I didn't have to learn how to discern spirits. I was able to do it. It was grace to me. It was a God-given gift that was put on the inside of me. Why? Because I was going to grow up to be a pastor. I was going to grow up to be a coach. I was going to grow up to be an author. And I was going to become this sage that was a truth seeker, right? And I was going to be able to research and find the truth. And as the Bible say, buy the truth and sell it not. I wanted to be able to tell people the truth of the matter, and to be upfront and to be transparent with them, and let them know, look, this is what you're dealing with, and this is why you're dealing with it. And whether you like it or not, this is what it is. And so the experiences that I've gone through in my life, the personality that I have, the desire to know the truth, the desire to speak the truth, the desire to be able to break down these big complex ideas into small bite-sized pieces that are understandable understandable to the world and to those that I'm called to, those that I'm assigned to, that makes me a trusted advisor, and people were drawn to that, even though I did not know what was going on in my life. So as far as I can remember, I have been this person. I was able to sit down and listen to a problem and advise. I was able to, even things that I've never experienced, the like I said, the gift of wisdom would kick in and I would be able to give advice, and people trusted my advice. Even to this day, people will come to me and say, Linda, what do you think about this? Linda. So all my life I've been coaching. All my life I've been pastoring. All my life I've been writing books, and even as a young kid, I remember writing fictional stories, and I would have these movies going on in my head about different stories, and unfortunately, if you ask my family, I was a great liar. Why? Because I could imagine stuff. And I can make it sound like, man, that stuff really happened. So who I was or who I am was always there. I was just confused about who I was, and I was using my talents and gifts in a way that did not display them in the greatest light. It did not display them, and sometimes I would take advantage of people because I had this gift. Because I could see, because I'm a seer in the spirit. I would go ahead and I would see things on people and I would use it against them because I did not know what I had. But what God was showing me when I sat down and started to really think about what is it that I'm going to do in my life and how am I going to excel and how am I going to make it to the other side? How am I going to be pleasing to the maker who created me, the one who created the universe and spoke the world into existence? How am I going to see his face in peace and say, I did all that you wanted me to do? And I remember the revelation came to me when I was going through Purpose Driven Life, and I saw what they said about David. And they said that David lived his life and he did all that he was supposed to do. And I'm paraphrasing. David lived his life, did everything he was supposed to do, and then he died. That thing stuck out to me. And I was like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do before I die? I cannot die and not have done everything that I was supposed to do. There are certain things that I am graced to do. Yes, I'm a friend of God, and yes, I'm a child of God, and yes, I'm a pastor, and yes, I'm a coach, and yes, I'm an author, and yes, I do taxes, and yes, I do this, and yes. But what is it that I'm supposed to excel in? What is it that God has put on the inside of me that's a solution to somebody's problem? What need do I feel? Because listen, if you are not doing what it is that you are meant to do while you're here on earth, I say it all the time, and I was reminded of it by my friend Prophetess Rain on Saturday. If you are not doing what you were graced to do, then why are you taking up space? Why are you still here? Why are you breathing? Because you're useless to no one if you are not doing what it is that you were supposed to do. And people are suffering because you are not doing what you are graced to do. So your homework is find out where you excel. What do you excel in, and how are you going to make a difference in this world? Some people will say, well, Linda, I'm 65. It's too late. It is not too late. You are still breathing. Some people will say, well, Linda, I'm only 18. I don't even know what I'm going to do to the next day. It does not matter. If you want to get in touch with you, then you need to understand that you are graced to be you and you are designed to be you. And God has a plan for your life, and it is a strategic plan and an intentional plan for your success and for the people around you that you are called to serve. It is something that's going to help them. So it's not just for you that you need to find this out. And I know somebody is like, okay, she done got passionate and started preaching. No. I'm passionate about this, and my voice may be just a little bit elevated, but I want you to hear what I'm saying because many of you are watching and you're not making the change and you're wondering why you're still miserable. I wrote in my book that I was miserably saved. I was miserably saved because I was living a life that was a lie. I thought I was one way. I thought I was supposed to do it one way. And God said, that's not so. That's not how I created you. I created you thus. And I need you to get this understanding because I'm not confused. As God, I'm not confused about what it is you're supposed to be doing. You're the one confused. You're the one trying to do something else. You're the one trying to make it work in this area when I have graced you to make it work over here. And so it's up to me to discover who I am, not just who I am in Christ, but who I am in this world and who are the people that I'm supposed to serve, because those people are waiting for me in the streets. Those people are asking me to bring the water. Those people are asking me to show up with the solution because it's a solution that I have and nobody else can give. Why? Because I've been graced for it. I feel it. I've been graced for it. And so you have been graced to be you. What do you excel at? What comes effortlessly to you? What do you do without a second thought? And how can that help somebody else? How can that help somebody else? Because it's time for you to take a sip. It's time for you to take a sip. It's time for you to live strategically, intentionally, on purpose. Take a sip. You are graced to be you. You are empowered to be you. And what other people think and what other people say, and even what you think and what you say, that negates your real true purpose, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I love, as a Christian, I love how when I'm on the right path and I know that I'm doing the work of God, I'm doing the will of God for my life, He confirms it. On Saturday, He confirmed it. I had already set up these shows in StreamYard. And then on Saturday, on Sunday, He confirmed everything that I'm going to talk about this week. Everything I've been talking about, every time I've done 100 days of purpose, it was like, he was like, Linda, you are on the right track, and don't you get discouraged by the numbers. Don't you get discouraged by the naysayers. Don't you get discouraged by the people that read and listen and watch and don't move. Those are not the ones that you're called to, because the ones that you're called to will move. The ones that you're called to will hear. The ones that you are called to will do something. So don't you get discouraged. Just like Noah, when Noah had to build the ark, it took him 120 years to build the ark to the specifications of God. But if he wanted that ark to float, he had to build it the way God said build it. And people thought he was crazy. People think that I'm crazy out here talking about purpose and talking about it in a way that's not like what everybody else is saying. Some of it intertwines, but a lot of it, I debunk that stuff because it's crap. It's something that they say just so you can feel good about where you are right now. I don't want you to feel good about where you are right now. I want you to make the change, because where you are right now isn't where you're supposed to be. And there are too many lives at stake because you won't move, because you won't get on the right street. You won't get on the right journey. You won't get on the right path, and you want to lead people astray. You're over here trying to help people that don't want your help because they weren't the ones you were assigned to. And the ones that want your help are over here asking and begging you to come, but you don't want to go to them because they don't look like what you want to deal with. Oh, yeah, I'm saying something to somebody. So, a prophet is without honor in its own country. I get it. The people that are attached to me on my timeline, some of them are not the people I'm assigned to. I'm going to keep speaking the truth, not my truth, but the truth about living a life of purpose. And the wind will carry it to those that need to hear it. I believe that with my whole heart. And so I am Coach Linda, and I will keep shouting from the mountaintop. You can be a person of purpose. You have a solution on the inside of you. You were designed and created and made for such a time as this. And the reason you still live, the reason you still breathe, the reason you're still here taking up space is because God is giving you an opportunity to do the right thing. And when you do the right thing, He will redeem the time that you will feel that you wasted. Ask me how I know. I know. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt to prove it. He redeems the time. He says, I will restore the years that cankerworms has eaten. And I have seen Him restore my time. It's not that He has given me longer life. He's given me fuller life. I'm Coach Linda. This is 100 Days of Purpose. And I am out.